Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm a dive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things we picked up when we picked up the Thrive 15 team was an entire team. You want an SEO guy that knows things about search engine optimization? Got it. You got a website guy that's built big websites like Garth Brooks' website? Awesome, we have it. He's coming in. If I had to pay for that on my own, outside of Thrive 15, there's just no way. For us, one of our most immediate needs when I got connected with Clay was technology. We had a website, but I had a website in Tulsa. Our other partner had a website in Colorado. And they did everything from doing a drone video where they flew over all of our markets with a drone. They integrated that into our site. They built every single thing that I think of, they do. We do a podcast. If I was gonna produce my own podcast, there's no, I mean, that alone, just that alone would be what I pay Thrive, just for that. But then if you add the fact that I've got, if I need a business card design, if I need a website build, if I need this, if I need that, I know what I would pay for that. If I had to go a la carte, I feel guilty sometimes, like I don't probably write a big enough check for the value that I get. I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs that have ideas what they want to do with their business and how they want to grow and what market they want to be in and how they can increase production and do all this. But it's not about having 4,000 ideas. It's about having 12 and executing them 4,000 times. That's the trick, in my opinion, and that's where Thrive's value comes in. I feel like I have my own staff, my own, like, I don't know, 20-person team that when I need something, I just go to them and it happens.
All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, we're joined here with Haley and James. Haley was born closer to yesterday than I was, and James, you were born somewhere in the middle between when Haley was born and I was born. And I want to talk today about growing companies, and I would love to get your thoughts on this, Haley, because you went to college. Did you go to college?
For a little bit, yeah.
For a little bit? And by the way, if you eat this mic, I'm going to pull this mic a little bit closer to you there. So you went for a little bit there, and what did you want to do? What was like the big goal?
I wanted to be a dentist.
Dentist?
I did.
Really? And have you ever worked for a dentist?
I have, yes.
Okay, and I'm not asking for any negative feedback or positive feedback, but I want to focus on how to scale a dentistry because I do work with dentists and doctors and lawyers and also automotive repair shops and bakeries and pizzerias, and they're all similar. If you want to scale a company, they're all very similar. So I want to kind of focus on how to scale a business, but we'll think about it from the perspective of a dentist. Why would every dentist who owns a business, why would they want to know their revenue goals, Haley?
Well, they need to make money in order to keep their business open.
Now, again, not based on your experience, but just in general life experience, would it be shocking to you to know that the majority of the dentists that I've worked for, previous to helping them scale and build a multi-million-dollar company, they don't know their revenue goals? Would that be shocking, Haley?
It's just astonishing, yes.
Is it? Is it really?
No, not at all.
James, was that shocking to you?
It is pretty shocking because everyone should kind of know what they want to earn or how much they need to earn to sustain their lifestyle.
And it's usually like not allowed to be brought up. I find it's almost like a sacred, holy, it's like you can't bring it up because you're talking about, when you start asking about someone's financial numbers, even though they're wanting to hire you, you bring it up, some people just get regarded right away. What is that all about, Haley? Why do you think that when I sit down with a client, I break down, I say, we're going to help you grow your company. Here are the steps. These are the systems we're going to help you with. Why is there a little bit of pushback typically with dentists and doctors and professionals as it relates to the numbers? Why do you think so?
I think most of the time it's because they don't know their numbers. They have no idea what they have incoming and they have no idea what they have outgoing either.
So we're moving on to now box number 3 here. The number of hours willing to work. Why is that a controversial idea? How many hours a week are you willing to work? Why is that a controversial idea?
No one wants to commit to anything. It's all kind of wishy-washy up in the air.
James, what do you think?
Everyone has a different lifestyle, so it's like Haley said, it's hard to commit to how many hours a person wants to work.
Now, I remember when my wife and I first got married, we were talking about growing our business, and I'll pull it up so we have some context. I don't own the company anymore, but I was building this company called djconnection.com, which I haven't owned for almost 15 years. But when I did grow it, I remember thinking, if I'm going to grow this thing, I'm going to need speakers lights, microphones. I made a big list of all the equipment that I needed to get. And it occurred to me it's going to be about $20,000 to get all the stuff I need. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to get a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV all at the same time. And I'm just going to work 40 hours a week at each place if they'll let me. And sometimes they have less hours at Target, more hours at DirecTV. And people thought I'd lost my mind. And my wife and I, we had determined we're going to turn off the air conditioning, turn off the heat, and take all the money that we are brought in and buy equipment. And people were really bothered by this. Like, I wasn't running around telling people this was my strategy, but this is just what we did. Why is that unsettling, you think, Haley, when you meet somebody who really knows their goals and they're on it?
It's just super uncommon. Most people don't know what they want to do or how to get there.
I remember, James, had people come over sometimes, and they would come over, and I'm not running around telling people my schedule, but they'd be like, hey, we go to church. And they would say, do you guys want to get together? And I'm like, I'd love to, but I got to go back to Target or DirecTV or Applebee's. And they're like, well, do you ever take time off? I go, no, not right now. Because I was in that phase where I was grinding. I just think that's alarming for a lot of people when you know what you want to do. Is that?
And also, too, when you do whatever it takes to get done what you want to accomplish, a lot of people are not willing to do whatever it takes, I think.
Interesting. Now, the unique value proposition, figuring out what you are and what you're not. If I had to describe the Haley brand, if I had to put to describe the Haley brand, you're very fastidious about being organized. And I think you're always pleasant. Do you feel like you're known amongst people that know you as very organized? Is that a thing you do?
Yeah, I think so. I think most people would think
Kind
so.
of detail oriented?
Yeah.
James, how do people, I would describe you as like the hammer. You're a guy, I'm so glad you're pointed in the right direction because you're just on it. The people that know you, do they think about you that way as well? Or
Yeah, you know what? I'm a little bit extreme. So, people are turned off or on real easily by me.
He says a little bit.
yeah, but you guys know where, again, and as I'm hiring people, I met Haley, I'm going, okay, I'm pretty positive, detail, organized. This will be great. So like when I had a book, one of my longtime clients and friends, he had a book that needs to be edited. I immediately thought, Haley, I should give you the book to edit because I knew that you would catch errors and would think that way. But there's other people that, maybe that's not their skill set. I think it's important for a business to know their unique value proposition. So I wanted to focus on just two of my clients that we've helped in the dentistry space. One of them is called MLK Dentistry. MLK Dentistry. This is the business, and it's a pediatric dentistry. Why is it important, Haley, that they know they're focusing on moms and kids?
They need to know who to advertise to. They need to know where to put those advertisements and what they need to look like.
And the color scheme of the website and what the ads say and the branding and the aquarium and the lobby and all that's designed more for women. That's what it's designed for. Whereas, General Flynn, who we have the opportunity to work with on the events that we do, great guy. His look and his style and what he's doing is not at all related to what they do at this pediatric dentistry. And the people that are looking for a pediatric dentist probably aren't looking for, pro tips for a citizen's guide for 5th generation warfare, so you got to know your audience and what you're focused on. I think it's very, very important for everybody out there. I think it's hard for people though, because most people, I think, have a hard time objectively figuring out what they're all about, so running a DJ company was very easy to me because organizing events is not hard for me. But if I was running a law firm, I don't know that I could. I've worked with a lot of law firms. I help grow law firms, but I went to one law firm. Have you guys been to a law firm recently?
No.
May you not have to go. Okay. But you go to this law firm and I'm there and it's got rich mahogany, the rich mahogany wood everywhere. It's just, this very rich, very affluent feeling. And there's no overhead music. And no words are said. So when someone's sipping on their coffee, you can hear them.
Ugh.
They pour the coffee and you're like, you can hear it.
That hurts.
When anybody talks, it's like, if someone's whispering like, hey, could you pass that document to me? And it's almost like a competition to be who can be the most quiet. It's whoa. But again, they're accountants and they're attorneys up there working. You can hear them typing all the time. Nobody's speaking at all. Rough for me. I don't know if you guys could do that environment. Have you ever worked in an environment like that where it's that quiet?
No, I could never do that.
You have, Haley?
Yes, at the dentist office.
Really? It was that quiet?
One of them, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That quiet?
You could hear everything.
Really?
which in a dentist office is very unfortunate.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you hear like the sounds of the suction. Okay. So then the next thing you have to do is you got to figure out your branding. And with all of our clients we work with, we sit down and help them with their branding. That's their logo, their print piece, their one sheet, all of those items. Why is it important that you or somebody who works with your business is intentional, Haley, about thinking about how the website's going to look, the print pieces, the experience when you walk in the front door? Why does everyone have to be intentional about that?
You have to know who you're marketing to, first of all, but then you have to also know, like, what do you want them to feel? What do you want them to see? How do you want them to perceive you?
So important to do that. James, why am I obsessed with at the Reawakened Tour events? Why am I obsessed to make sure there's music playing in the lobby and that we have enthusiastic people greeting the attendees?
So everyone's engaged and everyone's a part of it.
Why do I wig out when there's silence at a big event? Why am I like, silence is the devil?
Because then people disengage.
Interesting. Why don't I allow there to be massive pauses of silence at the event?
Then people start losing their minds. Nah, it just people disengage from that. And then they start, thinking about other stuff. And we want everyone to think about what the speakers have to say.
Interesting. So we move on here. So now we have the branding. Now you got to create a three-legged marketing stool. There are 3 ways you want to reach out to your ideal and likely buyers, not 35. Haley, why do we want our clients to reach out to their clients in 3 ways that scale as opposed to 50 ways?
So you can get 3 really solid layers down. So if one of them doesn't work, then you're not stuck with an uneven stool.
There it is. There. And why can't it be just one system? Why can't there be just one marketing system that handles all lead generation?
Yeah. I mean, if that goes away, if that quits working, then you're sunk. You're not solid in anything. Let
me tell you a great story about this client, and then maybe a sad story that's not so awesome about somebody else. So if you type in Tulsa Pediatric Dentistry, this client, he is just super consistent. Dr. Morrow, they do a great job, but they constantly gather objective reviews from their current clients. So look at them. They got 2.3 thousand reviews.
Wow.
Their closest competition has 144. They're very consistent. It's not an emotional thing. It's a daily thing. Every customer, they make sure they're happy and they ask them for a review. Now, I got another client that made it emotional, okay? And I'm just going to make up the industry, but they got really excited and they're like, we're going to be top in Google, baby. So they did the 4 moves that we teach all of our clients to do. They made their website mobile compliant, which we did for them. They hired us to optimize the website and make it canonically compliant, which we did for them. Third, they got fired up about getting Google reviews. Just, woo, Google reviews, Google reviews, Google reviews. And then they did this whole thing about making sure they wrote content. But then they stopped. They were like, we're done writing content. We're done getting Google reviews. They didn't say it actively, but it was a passive aggressive, like they just quit doing it. Why do you think, Haley, that Google would remove your map from the listing if you go 14 weeks in a row without getting a Google review?
They think it's fake news.
What do you think, James?
They're going to put someone else on the map who is getting reviews and who is, writing articles.
Have you 2 ever been to Society Burgers?
No.
You have?
I have.
Do you like it?
I do like it.
Awesome.
I know
Okay.
that's controversial here.
No,
but
I like it a lot too. I like it. Okay, so you go to it's controversial because I have one client that cannot stand Society Burgers, but I make up for it by promoting it whenever I can. So if you type in Society Burgers, Tulsa, this is the location, Society Burgers, and we're going to go to the map here. And a true story, and I'll be very vague to not get myself in trouble, but there has been a lot of restaurants that were located here where Society Burgers is now that had bombed. And it's again a great location. Do you go here or do you go to the other one?
I go to the one on Cherry Street.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. You're living it up with the yuppies. That's what you're doing. Okay. So this right here. Okay. So this right here, this is Society Burger. And this had been a perpetually out of business restaurant area. It was like every restaurant that goes in there would go out of business quickly. It was almost like part of the plan. It was like step 1, sign the lease. Step 2, go into bankruptcy. And so, I mean, and the build out here is awesome. Have you been to this one before, Haley?
I have not. No.
James, have you been here?
I don't think so.
Bro, this is where it's at. Look at this. Woo! This is great. Okay, this is a beautiful build out and great location. But I think it's had 5 different names before Society Burgers finally came in and made it work. And so these locations would fail. And one of the locations that failed was someone I knew very well. And so their business was still the map, even though they weren't in business there. So they weren't there, but their map was still there. What do you think the problem could have been, Haley?
Oh, well, they weren't getting reviews. They weren't, staying consistent with anything.
Think
Just
about this for a
complaints.
second. The new owner of Society Burgers is in there. And people are showing up to go to the other restaurant that wasn't around. You see what I'm saying? So people were looking to go to the other restaurant and they would show up at Society Burgers because Society was the new tenant. You feel what I'm saying? And so it was kind of this weird deal because the person I knew who used to lease that had been out of business for a long time, but yet people kept showing up thinking it was that, And so Google tries to keep this map updated real time. And so the best thing you can do to create confusion and to get yourself in a bad spot with the Google or the system is to not get Google reviews. Because if you don't get them consistently, Google will just turn your map off. And it happens all the time. And if it does, it's not good. So I just encourage people, do that, get those reviews. Next, when you have a sales system, Haley, why do you want to have scripts, recorded calls, one sheets, and documented sales processes, and not just processes that are in your head? Why would you want to document these things?
So it can be scalable, because if you don't have any systems or anything like that, you're going to be the business and you're always going to have to work it. You can never scale it out.
Now, the next step you have to do is you have to determine what it costs you to get a new customer. Now, so James, let's say we spent $1,000 on advertising and we got 4 new customers.
Boom.
Spent $1,000.
$250 a
Got
customer.
4. Yes, that's the number right there. Now, what if we had spent $1,000 and got 10 new customers?
100.
You're on fire. Why don't most people know that?
Most people don't keep track.
I spend $10,000 every single month to promote our business conferences. I know that number because I pay the bill every month. It's my budget, $10,000. So if we have 100 people come to our business conference, what did it cost me per person to attend?
$100.
There it is. So it's not an emotional thing. It's just a factual thing. That's just what it is. We have a lot of repeat people, a lot of friends and family referrals, that kind of thing. But again, it's just really important you know that. Now, repeatable systems and processes. Haley, after we help clients generate leads and more marketing and more potential customers, why does it ultimately come down to building processes and repeatable systems?
Again, just so you can scale it. And then it's, you can hire someone that can do those systems and anyone can figure it out. You don't have someone coming in and not knowing anything.
Now,
There's
this
no
next box
systems.
right here, we hired 2 new people and I assigned one of them for you to be sort of like their mentor, to guide them along the path this past week here.
Yes.
They'd never edited videos before. They're a sharp person. They'd never done it before. Why is it that people need management? Why didn't I just tell them, get in there and edit videos by yourself, figure it out, man? Why did I assign you to be sort of their mentor?
It's like a quality loop. So, I mean, if I know how to, edit videos and everything, I need to teach them, and then they don't drift and don't, I can make sure that they're doing it with quality.
Now, you're going to be leaving, I think, by you, Haley, in probably 41 minutes to go do whatever it is that you do after 3 o'clock. And you have a schedule that's pretty repeatable. I mean, it's pretty much 7 to 3 every day. How does that help your sanity as an employee, knowing the schedule, that it's going to be similar most days?
Well, I don't have to guess. I don't ever have to say, oh, well, I might be there. I can commit to things. I can say, yes, I can be there. No, I can't be there.
Have you ever worked in a job, and I'm not looking for names, where you didn't know your schedule day to day or week to week?
Yeah, it was always different.
Yeah. And James, have you ever had that happen to you?
Yes.
And I just said, if you're trying to grow a business that creates time freedom and financial freedom, it's not reasonable to ask your employees to commit to a super tentative schedule where everything's a variable. You've got to lay down some sort of schedule. Now, this is shocking. I'm going to blow someone's mind here. One of my favorite clients I've ever had the opportunity to serve, and I won't share his name because I'm going to keep it confidential. This guy only works from 10 to 2 ever, 4 days a week.
Boom.
Unbelievable. But when he comes in, it's like a laser show of focus, and then he's out. And his whole deal is he likes to tell the team he's doing research because he doesn't want people to give him a hard time. He's been self-employed for decades. But what he does, and I'm telling you because I know what he does, he golfs every morning up until about 10. That's what he does. Or he hits the weights or some combination thereof. He's in his late 60s now, and he continues to adhere to this regimen, which consists of him getting up at whatever time he gets up, hanging out with his wife and kids, working out, goes to work from 10 to 2, and then whacks the golf ball the rest of the day. And why, James, do you think he's able to be so effective in 4 hours a day when many people can't get anything done in 40 hours a week?
Because most people spend 11 hours a day on social media. So he probably just gets rid of all of his distractions and focuses singularly on what he's got to focus on.
I assured that. Hey, by the way, are you destroying the office right now? Are you breaking things over there? I shared that today in our staff meeting that the average person is consuming media 11.3 hours per day. Let me pull this up real quick so people can see it. Is that shocking to you, Haley, that the average person admits now, according to Nielsen and other surveys, that are spending 11.3 hours per day consuming media that is not of their choice? Like they didn't like wake up and make the media. They didn't put it on their list the night before. Yeah, I'm going to watch 11 hours of media. They're just passively consuming it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it should be shocking, but I mean, I believe it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Blows my mind. Okay, let's continue here now. The next thing is you got to build, once you have these repeatable, scalable schedules and it's all laid out, you have to have good people. And you guys are good people. I would say that if you're not here, but you kind of know what I'm looking for and what I'm not at this point. I think both of you know that.
Right.
You know, so you kind of know. I mean, yeah. You ever had the thought where you're like, this person's not going to be a good fit? Have you had those thoughts?
I have.
Dialogue?
Kind of figure it out within the first like 5 minutes of them being there. You're like, probably not.
Yeah. And we got a wonderful young lady out there who's making calls now. She's doing great. Sounds great. She can't control how many leads we generate or how many leads we can't, but she sounds great on every phone call. And that's what I'm looking for, is that consistency and making sure that everybody, we've got A players working for us. And so if you're out there today and you're saying, man, I got all these systems, but no one's doing anything, it's probably because you have bad people or people that are choosing to behave bad working for you. And then finally, you got to do your accounting, and you have to know what the point is of achieving your goals. So today, we begin my poolside basketball tournaments with my daughters. 6:45 tonight. We begin the new schedule. The summer's happened, so poolside basketball begins at 6:45. I plan on beating them. They're 12. The winner has to, if they beat me, I owe them $10 a piece, and we'll play. And to me, that's sort of a highlight of my day. But it's not necessarily work related. Why is it important, Haley, that you have like a point of achieving success? Why can't you just achieve success and then just grow for the sake of growing? I mean, why do you have to have some sort of goal?
Well, if you don't have goals, once you get to your goal and you're like, wow, I'm so successful, but what was it for? Then you're just going to be depressed. And you're going to be like, well, that was fun, but now what?
James, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think that someone's purpose changes over time, and you always want to be achieving your purpose.
So if you're out there today and you're going, you know what, I want to create a business that creates time freedom and financial freedom for me and my family, we can help you do that in two ways. One, you can schedule a one-on-one consultation with myself. You can go to thrivetimeshow.com and you click on the business growth button, and you can schedule a consultation for free. It's a 13-point assessment. I typically do 5 to 10 of those a week. Probably have 15 to 20 people a week that reach out, and I probably do 5 to 10 of those a week-ish. In January, it's very heavy with new inquiries. In the summer months, it's a little bit less, but I encourage you, if you want to schedule a consultation, you can. Also, you can look at the testimonials we have at Thrive Time Show. Over 2,000 testimonials since 2005 of clients that we've helped to build a multi-million-dollar company. And then finally, I would encourage you to come out to one of our in-person workshops. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop. It will absolutely change your life. And on part 2 of today's show, I'm going to introduce you to Dr. Morrow, and he's going to share with you about how we've helped to grow his business, MLK Dentistry. And so, without any further ado, we're going to end the show with a boom, because boom stands for big, overwhelming, optimistic momentum. And here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. Well, Thrive Nation, on today's show, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the stuff behind the stuff that very few people talk about, and that would be the numbers. You got to know the numbers. Now, why do you have to know the numbers? You have to know the numbers because the numbers are what drives the success of a company. So we're going to be joined here with an accountant today, a longtime client by the name of Josh Spurl. He's based in Canada. We've had the opportunity to work with Josh for years. He really is an expert in his field. Josh Spurl, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Doing great, Clay. Thanks for having me.
Hey, so I got to ask you this here. We're going to look at an actual client I'm working with right now. And this particular guy, he jumped into my life, and he was a startup. I typically don't work with a lot of startups, but he happened to come to a conference, and he checks all the boxes of what I'm looking for in a client. And we've had the opportunity to serve this client now for since November of this year, and his growth is tremendous. He went from $0 a week of sales to now he's at $9,409 a week of sales doing pool maintenance. I want to ask you this: what percentage of your clients or potential clients that reach out to you have no idea where they're at with their numbers before reaching out to you?
Well, I would say that 50% of them think they have no idea, but probably 80% of them actually have no idea where they are.
So let's look at this particular business, and we'll kind of break this down here. First column, and again, I'm not saying this is the gospel of how you need to do it, but I think you should always know what day it is. Start with that. I think a lot of business owners don't recognize there's 4.3 weeks in a month. So if you have payroll every 2 weeks, that's, I don't think a lot of people have a good relationship with what date it is when bills are coming in, when income's coming in, when bills are going out, when income's coming in. What are your thoughts on just the general lack of knowledge of what date it is and as that relates to collecting payment from clients?
Yeah, most clients really don't understand the 4.3. So they don't understand that anything's set up on a biweekly basis, twice a year. They're going to have to pay it 3 times in that month. So, if they're not tying it with the date, it's not really meaningful for them.
Have you had to have this discussion before with a client who found themselves in a tight cash flow spot and you have to point out there's 4.3 weeks in a month?
A lot of times, especially, that right there, where we're always looking at monthly numbers, and all of a sudden they have this massive payroll number, and they don't understand that that's one of the 2 times every year that we're going to have to pay everybody 3 times in a month.
Now, the next is the number of clients. I'm not going to ask how many clients you have, but, with Spurl CPAs, you have a certain number of clients that you like to have, and you're always growing. I know for my business, consulting business, I like to keep 160 clients that I work with, and I'll tell you why. This morning, I had a great client, longtime client, reached out to me and said, my website is down. And we're currently doing the whole Memorial Day thing here, and I work on most holidays, but what happened is his credit card expired. And so the website didn't renew. It kicked the email to his inbox, which he hadn't checked in a few weeks. And so his website went down, and we were able to fix it within the hour. But I only take on 160 clients because I only want to support 160 clients. Can you talk about this? What percentage of clients know how many clients they need to break even or to hit their goals?
I don't think most people actually know their break even. I would say, most people don't even really understand their direct costs versus their overhead costs, right? And so, how much is the margin on every client versus, how much of, how many times that margin do I need to pay for all my overhead?
Most people don't know their numbers. And if you're out there today, folks, and you want to know your numbers, that's a good place to be. And that's the kind of things we cover at the workshops. But again, it can be overwhelming if you've never looked at your numbers. Let's keep on moving here. Why is it important to track how many deals you have per package or per product? In this case, this gentleman here, real client, he has 21 clients paying for package A, 11 clients paying for package B, 11 for package C. Why is it important for he and for all the listeners out there to know if they have a business, what products are selling and which ones aren't?
Well, if they could track it down per client, there's a couple of things that I like here. This guy is not very, he doesn't have 8 million pricing options there. It looks like he has 3, which is nice. He has that kind of price simplicity. And I'd encourage business owners who have a lot of different pricing options to start to understand the average per client, right? And if they know their revenue, and there might be certain number of add-ons per client, if they know, hey, it's they're generating $100,000 from these types of clients, and there's 100 of them, well, it's $1,000 per client. That's super helpful to know. So I think you have to know the number of clients that you have, because then you can get the average per client.
Now, we're looking across. We're not going to go through every single one of these fields, but he does a very good job of tracking how many leads came in from Google, how many come in from his Dream 100, that's business-to-business marketing, how many of them came in from Facebook, how many came in from the trade shows. And I want people to be very clear. His current advertising budget is $0. So everything he's doing is, he pays us $1,700 a month, and he relies on us to do the search engine optimization, to basically generate leads for him. But as you begin to scale your company, eventually you're going to want to figure out what it costs you per lead. If you're out there listening today and you advertise, eventually you got to figure out how much money does it cost to land a new customer. Why is that important to know how much it costs you to generate a lead?
Well, if you know how many leads you need, you start backwards from the number of customers. Okay, you need this many customers. That means, you need to have this many conversations with potential new customers. And in order to get a one-to-one with a customer, you might need that many leads, I tend to use just broad-based before we really know a business, usually rules of 3. If you have 9 leads come in, you might have 3 appointments. And from those 3 appointments, you might have 1 deal, right? And then you can dial in before on that. But there's a difference between the number of leads and the number of actual, serious sales proposals that are going to happen, and then a number of deals.
Now, your website is spurl.ca. And you sit down with a lot of business owners. I mean, that's what you do. You help business owners to grow. What are the most commonly asked questions that you get asked that relate to both your Canadian clients that you service and our American listeners?
Well, I guess the most common is there's three main problems with business, and it's, ultimately it comes down to customers, cash flow, and team. So if you're to look at business owners, we always talk about 96% of businesses fail, but the reasons why they fail are actually pretty simple. 42% of the businesses that are going to fail because they can't find enough customers, and 29% are going to fail because they run out of cash, and 23% can't find the right team. And, if they can break their numbers down, we're looking at this in terms of how many leads are being generated. They think advertising's an art form, but it's really a science. It just comes down to how many customers you need and how much do I have to spend to make that phone ring? And then how many of those can I convert at what price, basically. So it's really important to, to understand, what they need in terms of customers, cash flow, and team.
Now, I'm going to ask you this because we've had the opportunity to work with you for years. And I think a lot of times people picture in their mind an entrepreneur as a perpetually busy person who's distracted all the time and everything's urgent. And yet you have really done a great job of implementing a lot of systems. And I'm just going to pull this up so people can see kind of what I'm talking about here visually. You've nailed down your revenue goals. You've nailed down your break-even numbers. You've nailed down how many hours you're willing to work. You know your unique value proposition. You know your branding. You know your three-legged marketing stool. You have a sales conversion system in place. You know what it costs you to acquire a new customer. You have repeatable systems in place. You manage the employees that work there. You have a repetitive schedule that works great for your family. You have an idea of who you're looking for in terms of the right team to be with you, to the right employees. Why is it that many business owners operate from an urgent emotional perspective at all times? What is that all about?
I think it comes from, maybe like this rooted belief that, we can just be like a cowboy in our business and trying to understand what we're going to do at any given moment, right? And a lot of business owners become business owners because they like that freedom. So when you start talking about that schedule, it's almost, they see it as a restriction, but in reality, that schedule, the discipline with that schedule actually allows them the freedom, because, I know I've heard you say it too, Clay, what gets scheduled gets done. And they want to implement these marketing initiatives. They want to implement these times for, sales presentations, but they don't actually have time in their calendar to do it.
So like today, we're doing our interview today. And then after we do our interview today, I'll do another interview today, and I'm doing interviews today, and I'll be doing interviews. It's 1:55 Central at this point. My last interview ends at 5:55. There's no real urgent emotional to it. I'm not stressing out. I'm not on the verge of losing my mind. And some people who shadow me think, man, Clay, how do you run, multiple companies? How do you do that? And I always go back to the fact that, you got to know your numbers. So I kind of want to end where we started there a little bit, Josh. If knowing the numbers, how important is that for people out there to know their numbers?
I mean, ultimately, business is about numbers, right? And it goes beyond just the financial statements. People just think it's financial statements. It's like you have to know how much time you need to devote to do proper content to get the phone to ring. If you're going to do cold calls, well, how much time do you have to spend to get one lead off of that? And then if you're doing appointments, how many appointments do you need? Are those appointment slots actually in your calendar? And then what is your role as a business owner to actually, accomplish the production? Is there enough time to do that? So, I mean, when I look at that list, it's almost like when I see it, that calendar box that you had there, everything almost radiates out from that calendar. If you don't have that calendar dialed in, everything else on there falls apart.
Well, I guess I want to get your wisdom on this too. Some new clients sometimes will fight me on the idea of having a calendar and a to-do list. They're like, it's controversial. Like, are you kidding me? With my schedule, I can't possibly adhere to a schedule. Why is that a limiting factor if somebody just can't get to a place in space where they're willing to follow a calendar?
They're going to be perpetually disorganized. And ultimately, that's a business that can't really scale, because even if you can decide what you're going to do at any given time, how are you actually going to hire people and have them follow a set system if they don't know when they can interact with you. And so that's kind of the hardest shift to make, is you have to be more diligent on your calendar as you grow, even if you want to dial down the number of hours that you want to work, because you have to be super reliable and dependable to those people that you want to help scale the business. They need to know exactly when they can meet with you, exactly when you can answer their questions. And, that sort of commitment to that calendar starts with you, and it flows all the way down through the organization.
Now, Spurl, I'm going to ask our listeners to do something today, and maybe some will do it, maybe some won't. This is what we're going to do here. If you're listening today and you will look up Spurl CPA in Canada, and you'll leave Josh Spurl a review based upon his presentation today, you are going to be entered in for a chance to win a VIP ticket to the Reawaken America Tour events or to one of our in-person workshops. So again, all you have to do, you just look up Spurl CPA. You find him here. You leave a review based upon the quality of his presentation. So let me just show an example. Oh, here, and I'll put Josh Spurl is an incredible CPA who has helped me to understand accounting in a way that is super helpful. That's a true statement. Written about a great Canadian right there. I'm hitting enter. Oh, see, now I'm entered in for a chance to win my own backstage pass to a Reawaken America Tour event, or a VIP ticket to one of our in-person business workshops. Josh Spurl, I'll give you the final word. What do you want to say to all the listeners out there that are taking notes, sir?
Yeah, I hope you guys just encourage you to get that calendar dialed in. Know what revenue number you need to hit. Know how many customers you need to hit that number. And make sure you have enough appointments on your calendar to actually, get that revenue number.
Bam. Hey, Josh, I really do appreciate you for being here today, sir. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot.
See ya. Bye.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah, so here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months, or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like you said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut, and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Morrow. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you are looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy, Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems, so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy with Tip Top Canine, and I'm the founder.
I'm Rachel Wimpy, and I am a co-founder.
So we've been running Tip Top for about the last 14 years, franchising for the last 3-4 years. So someone that'd be a good fit for Tip Top loves dogs, they're high energy, they want to be able to own their own job, but they don't want to worry about, that high failure rate. They want to do that like bowling with bumper lanes.
So you give us a call, reach out to us, we'll call you, and then we'll send you an FDD, look over that, read it, fall asleep to it, it's very boring, and then we'll book a discovery day, and you come and you can spend a day or two with us, make sure that you actually like it, make sure training dogs is something that you want to do.
So an FDD is a franchise disclosure document. It's a federally regulated document that goes into all the nitty-gritty details of what the franchise agreement entails.
So who would be a good fit to buy a Tip Top Canine would be somebody who loves dogs, who wants to work with dogs all day as their profession. You'll make a lot of money, you'll have a lot of fun, it's very rewarding. And who would not be a good fit is a cat person.
So the upfront cost for Tip Top is $43,000. And a lot of people say they're generating doctor money, but on our disclosure, the numbers are anywhere from over $1 million a year in dog training, what our Oklahoma City location did last year, to 25-35 grand a month.
To train and get trained by us for Tip Top Canine, to run your own Tip Top Canine, you would be with us for 6 weeks here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So we've been married for 7 years.
8 years.
8 years. So if you're watching this video, you're like, hey, maybe I want to be a dog trainer. Hey, that one sounds super amazing. Go to our website, tiptopcanine.com, click on the yellow franchising tab, fill out the form, and Rachel and I will give you a call. Our Oklahoma City location last year, they did over $1 million. He's been running that shop for 3 years. Before, he was a youth pastor with 0 sales experience, 0 dog training experience before he ever met with us.
So just call us, come spend a day with us, spend a couple days with us, make sure you like training dogs, and own your own business.
Well, the biggest reason to buy a Tip Top Canine is so you own your own job and you own your own future, and you don't hate your life. You get an enjoyable job that brings a lot of income, but is really rewarding.
My name is Seth Flint, and I had originally heard about Tip Top Canine through my old pastors who I worked for. They trained their Great Pyrenees with Ryan and Tip Top Canine. They did a phenomenal job and became really good friends with Ryan and Rachel. I was working at a local church, and it was a great experience. I ended up leaving there and working with Ryan and Tip Top Canine. The biggest thing that I really enjoy about being self-employed is that I can create my own schedule. I have the ability to spend more time with my family, my wife and my daughter. So my very favorite thing about training dogs with Tip Top Canine is that I get to work with the people. Obviously, I love working with dogs, but it's just so rewarding to be able to train a dog that had serious issues, whether it's behavioral or whatever, and seeing a transformation, taking that dog home, and mom and dad are literally in tears because of how happy they are with the training. If somebody is interested, I'd say don't hesitate. Make sure you like dogs. Make sure that you enjoy working with people, because we're not just dog trainers. We are customer service people that help dogs, and so definitely don't hesitate. Just come in and ask questions. Ask all the questions you have.